and stop. Don't try and force it.
Mm.
Because again, notice where your eyes are going when you're attempting to visualize something. Are you looking straight ahead and maybe looking side to side, or are you going down? Because you won't find a visual picture there.
Mm.
Because looking side to side, that's your auditory, that's sounds, that's words.
Mm.
And looking down, you're then in your emotions. So it's like, oh, I can't do this. So you then sink even further. So notice where you're looking for that light, that vision. Just turn your eyes, look upward and just allow something to come. And it may just be just a thought of, oh, I'm seeing light. I'm feeling it, just somehow, but just with your eyes looking up. Um, and it's not making yourself wrong if you can't actually see it. But there are light bulbs that you can get, daylight bulbs, which I used years ago. I used to use one for reading, and I found it was really helpful. It made a difference when I was actually reading. So maybe something like that will
Mm.
help you to experience a different light. Because I know strip lights, which I've got here, a strip light. Strip lights are not actually great energy wise. And so again, look at what lights you've got in the house, and can you make it a little brighter? Because maybe it's gone a bit dimmer, and the lights you had aren't actually working as well. So how can you bring that light into your life in a different way, rather than relying on sunlight to be there? It's working with it, and yeah,
Mm.
it is going inward, and it is a time of hibernation. How can you hibernate and feel good about it? Isn't it? It's like bringing that positivity to hibernation.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like anything else when we strip away things. For me, going into winter is about a stripping away. If we really take in the idea of the cycle of life or
Can I check, Kamau? Is the sound coming on properly on your side? Because to me, the sound is not.
The sound is fine, Nomsa. It's coming out fine.
Okay, your sound is fine, but Shireen and
I can
Carol
we can
Ann.
hear.
We
I
can
can hear.
I
hear and
can
everything
hear
is
you.
fine. Yeah.
Quite
Okay,
loud this time.
okay.
I can turn
Okay.
it down.
I can't hear anything.
All right. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So you were saying, Shireen?
Yeah, I think there's something about the stripping away, and if we think about stripping away is always about getting to our source, right?
Mm,
Our inner light. So
yeah.
it's really about looking in celebration that, oh, now's the time that I can go and find that inner light so that I can have a period of rest.
Mm.
We just try because we have got over commercialized, unfortunately, which means that we're forgetting what the season is about. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not a negative season at all. It's a very, very positive season because it's drawing us back. It's cleaving us back to our source. We spend the whole of the year moving externally. Now we need to come internally to resource ourselves, right? Resource. By getting back to the source, we resource ourselves, and we then have light that allows us to go through the next part of the year. So I think that that's a really important thing. One of the things that you were talking about, Caroline, where when we look up and we're, basically looking up for the light, when we look up and we just push our eyes a little bit further, you will activate the pineal gland anyway. And the pineal gland increases, or it has got very high density of DMT, which gives us actually these slightly euphoric, nicey feelings. So, hey, come on, just do that. Don't push yourself too hard, but allow yourself to notice that. You just give it that little extra push, and you will start to generate that little bit more DMT, and it
Mm.
will give you a more of a feeling of euphoria. So there's another way of being able to do that. And I believe that anyway, that the pineal gland is the pathway to our God state, our states of mind, which connects both our cerebellum with our higher center. And our cerebellum is our space, our place of proprioception, where we are in space and time. So it gives us a facility to kind of really gather ourselves and also connect to this wider field that we might not always be aware of. So yeah, that's kind of where my thoughts are going and why.
I'm liking that connection that you're talking about there, because it's that's where I tend to go as well, that connection. Um, this is also what I meant earlier when I was talking about we've done so much during a whole year. Why should we allow a few months to depress us?
Yeah.
Right? This is the same thing as I'm teaching my kids this, and you all know that celebrating not a birthday, but a birth month, right? The whole month of November for me is a celebration, and the same for my daughter and my son. Like it's a whole month. We're celebrating you for a whole month. So, a funny thing is, there's this poem, um, or it's a story, but it was made in a poem by Jean de La Fontaine, um, French poet. The translation would be the cicada and the ant. Um, Now the story is about all his poetry were about that gave morals and things like that. But I'm reminded of it during wintertime because it speaks specifically about um, what was the cicada doing during summer season while the ant was picking up bits and pieces of food and all of that and storing everything to prepare herself for the winter, for the hibernation season, so that there was food during wintertime where everything freezes. And I mean, the story goes on that the cicada goes and talks to the ant, and the ant tells her, "What were you doing?" And I was singing during whole summer and having a laugh and all of that. And at the end, the ant, in a vicious way, tells her, "Well, why don't you just dance now?" And she leaves the cicada. The moral of the story is prepare yourself for um, harsher seasons, right? Now, not only do I take this as a moral and a lesson to prepare yourself, for instance, you're working and you put a bit of savings on the side, you prepare for it just in case an emergency, you have a buffer account, you have all of that, and then suddenly something happens and you need that extra money, but you have it, so you're safe. Same thing happens with our life. Um, we tend to forget ourselves in the moments of joy, and we're ecstatic and we abuse that. We go beyond that joy and we abuse it. And once we go beyond that joy, we forget that we were there at some point. So we don't pay attention to how much of that joy we've had in our life. And so when something drastic happens in our life, and I'm comparing the drastic events in our life to the winter season, um, we we forget that we've had enough joy to fill us up. We've had enough joy in our cup, enough love, enough um, positivity to fill us up, but we decided to waste it somewhere, or not waste it, but to forget that we left it there, right? It's kind of it's a very metaphorical state that I'm seeing things when it comes to winter, because I mean, I don't mind winter. I grew up in warm countries. I grew up with plenty of sun. Yes, the first years here in Norway were a little bit difficult because I'm living in Norway, and so we started having darkness very early, around already in September, right? And during the summer we have like almost, I mean, we don't get the midnight sun here, but like we're about 4 hours away from the midnight sun, so it's it's not pitch black dark. Now it's approximately pitch black around 6, 7, and during proper winter, we will have about 3 hours of sun if the sun comes out. So, yes, it does change how you feel internally if you're used to the sun, if you want that clarity in your life. And my opinion is that I believe that you can take from within that light. Uh, Yes, put up candles, have more light in the house, get brighter lights. We can be affected externally by how things are happening around us, the environment and all of that. And yet we don't have to allow it to
Mm.
um, affect our mood, affect our emotions. And I think it's very clear that we are talking here about emotional mastery from the very start, from whatever we're talking about. We talk about that emotional mastery,
Mm.
where how can you master your emotions in a way to express them without them affecting you in a, between quotation, negative state?
Yeah. I like that phrase, emotional mastery.
That's the whole concept of
It is.
NLP.
Yeah, yeah. And it's allowing yourself to become the observer of it rather than within it taking
Yeah.
over you. And that takes mastery. And when you can become that observer, you are then master over it,
Mm,
and it's not taking over your life. So it's it's actually noticing it to start with, rather than you're sinking in it and sinking in it, and you're so in it that you're not even aware of it. It's like wake up
mm,
and start to go, well, okay, well, what am I feeling? What am I doing each day? Am I actually taking care of myself? Because self-care tends to go out
Mm.
of the window.
Mm.
Um, and is that really depressing, hopeless mood that really settles in, and start to notice, well, whereabouts are you feeling it? How are you feeling? How are you moving? And then do something about it. Just sort of step back and go, okay, notice, make it, write it out, talk, write it down. How you're feeling, how you're moving, and, are you actually taking care of yourself? Are you
mm,
getting up and washing and getting dressed in the mornings, or can you not be bothered? Are you
Mm.
still connecting with friends,
Yeah.
or have you completely cut that off because that's just it's too much to do?
mm,
And notice how long it's going on for, because it's when it gets into weeks and months, that's when it's the symptoms, that's more the signs of the um
Mm.
sad, not of the sad, it's of sad. That disorder,
Mm.
rather than just winter blues. Because winter blues, they sort of have a much more lighter feel, and they go much more quickly. You
mm,
can shift out of them. Whereas sad, it's a really deep
Mm.
sort of sink.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
so again, notice it.
Mm.
And something that you can do when you're in really feeling it is sit in something called hookups. It's a brain gym activity, and brain gym is activities that help just shift emotion, shift perspective, take away the stress of whatever you're doing, or even stress of learning. And all you need to do is just cross your ankles, put your hands out in front with the thumbs to the floor, and then put one hand over the other, interlink your fingers, and just roll under and up. If it feels a bit tight, just loosen your fingers, because there's tightness in you. It helps just relax and just sit like that and close your eyes and have your tongue at the roof of your mouth and just focus on your breathing. And then just notice what happens to your emotion. And you can sit like that. As I said, it's a time for re-energizing, recharging, just going inward, and
Mm.
just give yourself time to just feel what's happening. And then after a while, you just when you feel you're ready, feet apart, and then just put fingertips together. There's 2 steps to that activity. And again, just sit like that. And again, just notice what's happening with your energy, with your emotion. And just go, okay, so what can I do now? What's there to be done? And just then get up and maybe just go for a walk. Go outside, go for a walk. If that's something that you find, oh, I can't do that, it's too cold, wrap up. I read somewhere I think in Scandinavian countries, people they still go out in the winter. They wrap
Yeah.
up, you know, wrap
Mm.
up warm, go for a walk because movement is really important. Because when you're sitting,
Mm.
that's when you get stuck and you
Mm.
start getting into that depression. So that's something that you can do to sort of help lift it, lift yourself out. But I love what you were saying about preparing for the seasons,
Mm.
you know, and both what Shireen and what you were talking about, Kamal, it's just we have the seasons. How often do we sort of get into them and it's like, oh, all of a sudden they're here? Get prepared. So, what could you be doing in the winter that would be a great activity that would prepare you for the spring? So, there is a sort of looking ahead, but you're still within where you are. Um, don't know what you think about that idea. Shireen, Kamal, anyone?
I know that Nomsa's back, so
Yeah. Is she
yeah.
wanting to share? Is
Do
she
you
ready
want to
to
do you want
share?
to come in, Nomsa, and share before I go in next?
Yeah,
You're muted.
you're muted.
Okay, I'm muted now. Yeah, we were just broadcasting on LinkedIn and Twitter, so I had to set up the other things, and Restream updated their software as well, which is mumbles things up.
Ah.
So yeah, like Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Winter times, wrong
Yes.
times,
Yeah.
winter times.
Yeah.
I like the dark actually. I like winter times because it rains. It means I can go and do my exercises very quickly and get over and done with. Honestly, you will be surprised. I like winter and I like the rain. I don't like it when it's snowing, like, because if it snows today, it's nice to look at the snow, but the aftermath is no good. You have to slippery and stuff, and the cars and everything accident. So I don't like that, but I actually like the rain. If it's really cold, if I don't wear gloves, if I go running, it means my running is gonna be halfway. If anything that takes me 15 minutes, it will take me like half an hour. It would take me 15 minutes because that means that I'm gonna sprint. Yeah. So if it's warm, I run slowly. But I like winter times. But I'm not sure about the elderly, how they feel about winter and stuff. Sometimes it can be traumatizing.
Hmm.
I couldn't hear what you guys were saying because I had to focus on what I was doing.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, but I'm sure what you were saying as well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Mostly come out. Do you guys have summer? Because you live in Norway. Norway is always snowing, right?
No.
Really?
You
No,
sound
they have
exactly
summer.
like the people that say like, "Oh, you come from Egypt or Morocco. Isn't it like just desert and camels over there?" That's what you sound like when you say stuff like that.
No.
No, we actually it's sometimes it's sunny. I live on the west coast of Norway and it's pretty rainy on the west coast here. Oslo, they have a little bit better weather because
Yeah.
it's inland. Up north, if you go further up north around Trondheim and a bit further, you get the midnight sun. So that's during summer, and you have 6 months of winter over there up north, and so it's very different depending on the location.
You
Uh,
get midnight sun.
yeah,
Sun
yeah,
doesn't go down.
the sun doesn't go
That
down
sounds
because
really exciting.
so that's
Mm.
during the whole halfway through spring to halfway through autumn. That's usually when like the midnight sun is obviously during summertime, but that's when they get 6 months of sun basically.
Gosh, how
Okay.
do you cope with 6 months of sun? I can't imagine not having a bit of darkness to go to sleep.
I got no clue.
But
But
again, it's
yeah,
managing it, isn't it?
it's managing it. That's the
And
thing. Yeah, I
preparing
mean, a lot
for
of
it.
people manage it. A lot of people get used to it. It depends on how you grow as well, if you get used to it or not.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
my body is not used to the atmospheric pressure that comes with the winter season, specifically here in Norway and Scandinavia. So the atmospheric pressure of the clouds become when it gets to very low, when it's like heavy, I get migraines. I like I wake up in the morning and I know that there's heavy weather outside, that it's
Mm.
very dark and it's like the clouds are heavy. I have a migraine straight away without even opening the curtains. I know what kind of weather it is.
Mm.
And I never had that before anywhere I went because the pressure is different. Now, coming back to what you were saying about these exercises, there are plenty of exercises to get us out of these moods and um, feeling sad. And that preparation, I would even go to start preparing for winter, even during autumn time. Another thing that could actually help that a lot of people forget is that um, the routines.
Mm.
If you have to change your routines, change them. If you have to apply new steps that you were talking about a list of what you want to do and what you would like to do and all of that. I say make it even basics.
Mm.
If you usually wake up at 6, wake up at 5:30, make a difference, right? Have half an hour to take your coffee, read a book, go do a little bit of home workouts, whatever it is that allows you to get that a quicker start to your day, where you change a little bit of the habits. You are automatically affected by that. It's a biological thing. You are affected by that darkness, whether you like it or not. And the trick here is to adjust your body system to not be affected. I mean, put it simply. And one way, for me, the best thing that I found is actually fixing my waking up hours. It's every day I wake up at 6:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, whether I have the kids or not. It's always the same time. I wake up, I make my special coffee, I read a few pages. I have my time where I enjoy myself for half an hour, 45 minutes. It's just me all alone, 45 minutes taking care of myself. And
Mm.
if you adjust that into your winter routine, you can have it in a cozy way. Find a nice cozy place in your house or your apartment, next to a fireplace, next to a window where you can see maybe the snow if you have snow, or look at a beautiful tree or a plant, and cozy up with that coffee and a book. Cozy up with the coffee or the tea or whatever it is that you drink in the morning with something that you enjoy doing. Not the phone, please, but something something else than electronic, something
Yeah.
that stimulates you. That's the word I was looking for. A mental
Mm.
stimulation, right? You were talking about brain activities. This is it, a mental stimulation, a Sudoku, a word, a crossword, a book, um, scribbling, writing, whatever it may be that can enhance your day, because this is you time. And
Mm.
that's something that not only during wintertime, but during the rest of our life, a lot of people forget to do that. They're always in the, okay, then alarm, alarm, no, snooze a little bit, 5 minutes, then okay, I have to run. And then they get stuck in that routine of always being in a rush, forgetting about themselves. They come back home from work, they're tired, they want to lay down, they still have to do these chores, and that becomes a tiresome routine for the body. I believe the winter season is for you to reevaluate that state of mind where you can just reframe and change the whole routine that you're used to have it better so that it fits better with your lifestyle. It is dark. It is I mean, some people see it gloomy. The thing that I love about winter is just that it's dark. um you get the chance.
Mm.
The universe has given you the chance, the opportunity, and the time to readjust your perspective on life.
Mm.
Because you've got time. You've got more time, technically. I mean, not technically, but you've got more time to evaluate things because it's darker.
Mm.
So instead of going to like waking up a little bit later because, well, I wake up late and all of that, wake up a bit earlier. Come back from work, drop everything, have a quick nap. Have a quick nap
Mm.
for an hour, and then wake up refreshed and do whatever you want to do. Change that routine that you're stuck on during the whole year so that it fits you better during the winter time. And if you manage to keep it stuck for those 3 months, it won't be an issue to add it to continue that habit. I mean, starting from 3 months, the habit adjusts and starts to kick in. It's if I remember well, it's 120 days, I think. So that's about 4 months. So you've just got 30 more days to go with that routine, and it will become a habit. So that's my opinion. That's how I see wintertime. It's a reevaluation. You have time because everything like, okay, we'll talk about the sun sets early. People hide away earlier. Yes, it's a seasonal time with the trees and Christmas and fun and family and all of that. It might be hectic for some, might not be for others. But the fact that people are escaping from that darkness means that you don't need to force yourself to have contact with others, and allow yourself contact with yourself to reevaluate your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Reset.
Reset.
To
Yeah.
do a reset. Resource and reset.
Yeah.
All these lovely words, which are really important. Yeah, I love that. And I was thinking, Carmel, and a little bit of what goes on from all the neurological, biological kind of perspectives, which you were talking about. And you were talking about something which was really interesting, was about how we have the happiness and we don't utilize it, we don't bank it up, right? Yeah. So it means it's not available to us when we need it. And, so I'm kind of thinking in the sense of, well, that's kind of when we have the happiness and we drop. What happens is we're in the dopamine hit, right? We're in the dopamine hit that is quick up and down. So we come down quite quickly from that. In those moments when we're in the summer, when we're in the spring, when we're all, what we want to do is extend that. We want to extend the time so we create more serotonin. So we want to start to appreciate. So we have this moment of joy, go back in and appreciate it. So you're grateful for it. Now appreciate it. Now see it as a blessing. Now expand that out a little bit so that your body starts to have greater capacity to hold that feeling. And you were talking about emotional mastery. Well, this is part of emotional mastery. This is about being aware. Hey, I'm in this high state. How do I expand this high so that it lasts longer, right? How that primes your neurology, and it allows your neurology to hold those memories a little bit stronger for when we need them. And that, so thank you for that. That was a really good thing. And what was really interesting was Carol Ann, you was talking about the self-care. And it's so important because when we're doing the self-care, we are treating ourselves, but we're also increasing those moments where we're pleasing ourselves and we're giving ourselves that sense of increased serotonin. So it's so pivotal that we do that, because we expand. Every time we do self-care, we're expanding that feeling and we're expanding levels of serotonin. And serotonin is the happiness hormone. It's the one that gives us the ability to sustain and to be in that place of comfort and peace through the whole of our life, which means when we reach dark times, we don't actually go into those lows. We may have those blues, which you love so beautifully said. Blues are the states, right? The states we go in and out. The sad is that mood that we go into that is more pervasive and more extended. So it's a really key kind of differentiation, and think about what are we doing? How are we preparing ourselves? So every time we have that moment of happiness, how do we expand that so that we can bank it for when we need it? I really think that's a really key thing. The other thing, which is I just want to touch on, is that when you're doing your journaling in that morning, I loved what you said, Carmel, which is really taking those moments to really expand that out in the morning. So you wake up, you spend time on yourself, and you read and you do things. All of these things build mental muscle. They build our capacity to be able to hold our emotions in balance. Not take away our emotions, but hold them in balance so that we can see them for what they truly are. these beautiful feelings that we have, or sensations that we have, and allow us to experience them and let them flow.
Mm.
It's when we sit and we start thinking, oh, this is not a nice thing, we evaluate the emotion, that's when we're in trouble. So when we think winter is a bad month, that's when we're in trouble, right?
Yeah.
If we start thinking, oh, winter's a time I can just get rid of the SH1T, I can get rid of that, then guess what? We start to go into winter far more enlightened, far happier, far more in joy. And that gives us excitement, and that gives us that sustaining ability to be able to continue. So for me, those are the kinds of things that are really important. And Caroline, you said something that's so useful, and I think also Carmel, you touched on, is the idea, and we'll connect back to the cerebellum and connect back to that pineal gland. When we do exercise, we are actually connecting, and we're causing more connection between these two parts of the brain. So we're actually letting the body know when we're moving, we're letting our body know we are here in this space, we are in time, and it also lets us know we're safe. And that gives us a greater sense of feeling calmer and feeling more in control and being able to be more resourceful. Because one of the things is, if we increase our capacity in our cerebellum, that means we've got more cognitive awareness, because we want to bring all the things that we do unconsciously to stay in the right place, all the movements, so that we free our brain to be able to do the more cognitive, intensive work. So that's another way of looking at it as well.
Yeah.
So definitely really important to move.
Oh, definitely move.
Namsa,
do you want to?
loved your exercise that you gave us. I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
So very much about centering,
it's
isn't
nurturing
it?
and centering. It's
yeah.
Namsa, did you want to jump in here? You're muted.
And she's still muted.
Yeah, I like it when Kamal said you need to like reframe the state of mind, like create a better routine, and also not rushing, like it take time. I need that advice. I go to bed very late, Kamal, when I get up in the morning.
Me too.
Yeah, it's rushing the children to school and stuff. So yeah.
I go to bed like I go to bed at midnight, 1 o'clock, and I still wake up at 6:30 in the morning.
I go to bed maybe 2:30 or 3 a.m. But I still have to get up at 6:30. But sometimes I do switch my alarm off and just lie there for half an hour, thinking about getting out of bed. Because when I go to bed and I have 2 hours sleep, so sometimes I get tired, but I have to get out of bed. And then sometimes I have a nap in the day, or sometimes the weather does not allow me, because when it's cold and miserable, just need to keep busy until the day, and when everybody's demanding your attention, so you can't really. But I like that when you say create a better routine, and just have with that your favorite drink that you like, my hot chocolate, and just enjoy life and stuff. And I like it when Shireen as well, you mentioned journaling as well. And when you do exercises, that your body sends a signal that, oh, I'm in this galaxy. I'm breathing. Carol Ann, is that your favorite winter time? Is winter time your favorite?
I like all seasons.
You like it all seasons?
Yeah, I do. I like how this country has defined seasons. Sometimes, okay, if the snow goes a bit too long or it rains a bit, but it's part of
How do you mean the
living
snow
here. I
goes on?
love
We
it.
never get no snow in United Kingdom.
Oh, sometimes you do.
Today.
We used to, but not anymore. I think the
No, it's not as
climate
bad
has
as it was.
changed.
Yeah, yeah. But I love what Kamal was saying about changing your routine. I think, well, that's an idea. Have something that shifts with the seasons, rather than being so static. And therefore it just feels perhaps out of sync with the season in some way. It's maybe just a subtle change in what you do, or when you get up, maybe reduce what you want to get done in a day to what you want to get done in, the summertime when there's more daylight. So again, it's adjusting your expectations perhaps of what you can get done. Change what you're doing, because like that cozying up with a book or something, it's that nurturing of the soul. It's a great time just to nurture your soul. And so give yourself different tasks to do through the day, or activities during the winter that you would do in the summer, and in the spring and autumn. So have that adjust with the seasons. So I'm thinking, oh, that sounds good. And it's like, why don't you actually ever think of wintertime, of having a holiday? We always think about summertime, go on holiday. Well, we've got the sun anyway. Why? We need to go on holiday. Why not have a break in the winter and go in, have a dark holiday rather than a sunlight holiday, or just go abroad if you can afford to go abroad, or somewhere where it is sunny, get a little bit of light, but make it something different, but have that break from, or shift or change of routine and expectation. Something else that came up, I said, languaging, how you language it. I opened the curtains this morning and went, oh gosh, it's a bit dark, a bit grey this morning. And I thought most people go, oh, it's miserable today.
Yeah, I was going
Well,
to touch on that word that Nomsa said. Oh, it's always miserable. Well, okay, but you're putting yourself there.
It was snowing over here today. So I got up.
It's snowing, it's raining, it's whatever is happening, rather than it's miserable, or it's depressing. Yes, that's what you'll feel. It's grey. It's like, okay, so it's grey. It's different. It's not as bright as it can be when the sun's out and there's no clouds. But you are with the day. You accept what is here, and you language it in a different way that makes it uplifting, and it's accepting rather than depressing. So again, watch your language. Really watch your language with that.
Perfect.
And something else you can do is stimulate your senses. Maybe bring some color into your place where you're living that maybe isn't there during the summer, or maybe there's some dark corners. How can you lighten them up? Add a bit of color to it somehow. But also maybe with some essential oils. There may be some essential oils that you could use through the winter that would stimulate your senses, that would help you uplift. So maybe some uplifting oils. I'm not really, the only ones I tend to use are lavender, eucalyptus, and tea tree. And
Yeah, that's
I was using tea tree, lavender to help me go to sleep. Tea tree I've been using just recently because it's cold's going around and everyone else seems to be going down with it, and I'm going, no, I'm staying. Well, so I just keep dosing.
Geranium and rose are good ones.
Yeah, I was going to say
uplifting.
roses. Yeah,
brilliant. Rose
and nurturing.
and if you
geranium.
want some fancy time with your partner, jasmine.
Oh,
It's
Yeah.
euphoric.
Okay. So the uplifting oils, look for those that are uplifting, and if you don't know any, or you want to try, find out some more, Google it. What are uplifting essential oils? Get something that, again, your sense of smell is very strong and can uplift you if you can stimulate that in a way that uplifts rather than depresses you. And again, what you're eating. Look at what you're eating. Foods that can nourish you, but still help to uplift you rather than bring you down. I don't know if someone's got some suggestions around that.
Yeah, food is very important to me. I'm a fish person and chicken person. If I can eat chicken 7 days a week, I will do it. Yep. So
I think
yeah, if I just love chicken and I love salmon. If you give me that every single day, you can't go wrong. I like steak, but it's not something that I'll eat every day. But eating good health, I think it just investing on your food is really, really important to actually invest on your food and just eat that healthy food. Make sure you have garlic in your food and ginger. What else can you put in your food? And some
well, I think
nice,
you can do a lot of
not
things like
chili.
broths.
Yeah, nice like spices and stuff, and just put it in your food and just enjoy it and buy the drink that you enjoy, because we intend to spoil it other people. I've noticed with people like my friends and family, if I want something, they are happy to do it for me, but when it comes to their needs, they can't fulfill their needs. I've learned that the hard way. And everyone seems to say, oh, Nomsa, you're losing weight. You look so. It's because I have decided to eat health. I'm actually eating more than I used to eat. But because in my subconscious mind, I'm not worrying about anything. I just eat health, just taking healthy things and just looking after myself. I think that is really important. And I like also, Carol Annie, what you said that you like all season. Because if we say, oh, I don't like winter, I don't like that, through that winter, you'll be unhappy. So I think what it is what it is. Just find that happiness, something that can pull you through that season. That's why for me, I don't take any notice of winter. I don't take any notice of any like snow or anything, uh, or summer or anything. I just enjoy my life. Like Kamau, you're saying you've taught your children, say every month is a born day. I do that as well. Like I don't say it's a born day, but for me, every day is a blessing. Honestly, that's how I pull through life. So just eating healthy and colors. Carol Anna, you mentioned the colors as well. That colors are really, really important. And was it Kamau that mentioned expectations, or was it Shireen?
Shireen.
Yeah,
Shireen.
expectations as well. So for me, it's like, okay, this is what it is. I just have to find something that can make me happy instead of, and I've started like teaching my children like the language, and like, come on, what you're doing, your children will live with that. They will remember those words. It's like my children, like my character. I'm thinking they don't see my character, but they can tell me. They can, when it comes to talking, they're like, Mom, you're a very easy person. You have no expectations with people. Not these daddies that wants to change us. So just take it easy. Life is about blessing every single day. But it's hard to have that mindset, like Kamal was saying. It's not an easy thing. Not hard is not the right word to use. It's just it requires you to reframe things and create different habits and stick to them. And then most of it, like Shirini, you were saying, journaling, everything comes down to gratitude of life. When you take away the miserable winter, the summer, the what. Like in the UK, we say we don't have a nice weather. Now, when I go to Africa, UK is my home. I don't know about you, Shireen. Yeah, if I go home, Carol Ann, 3 weeks, I want to go home. And my mom, she's like, where's your home? I'm like, UK.
Okay.
But they do understand. Yeah, they do understand that although I was born in Africa, but this is my home. I don't get along with the hot weather anymore either, because I'm not used to it. I don't know about you, Shireen, when you go to Africa, how do you cope? But it feels so hot and humid.
Yeah, yeah. And temperature changes. Living in different countries, you do adapt to the temperatures very specifically. I'm sure Kamal has adapted to moving from Egypt to Norway, which is
I mean,
bloody
I've
cold.
adapted from all. I lived in France, in England, in Egypt, in Dubai, a bit in Australia and Norway. So I've managed to adapt. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You do adapt, like you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's, it's all, you just got to find your way. And and I'm thinking now with Shazad Shazan, who is from Positive Intelligence, he kind of says, it really is very important is to recognize that you don't have to carry the mood of what's going on, because it's the mood that decides for you whether you're going to enjoy this moment of feeling hot. Can you just go, well, this is just a feeling, right? And so what I can do is accommodate with this. So, if it's hot, right, okay, I don't need to go running right now. I can do this. So learning to kind of find what's positive and useful and helpful within those moments can be very, very empowering, I think is key here. Yeah, I think adapting is pivotal in this. And I think thriving, which we were talking about, thriving is your capacity to adapt to
Yeah.
whatever current circumstances are happening, isn't it? So, and in NLP, we have the one with the greatest flexibility rules the system, right?
Yes.
So we know that one.
Yeah.
And it's really is important. And, today my partner was busy talking and he was kind of doing stretches and he said, oh, one's got to be flexible. I said, yes, if your system's not flexible, you can have poor health. So the greater your flexibility, the greater your physical flexibility, the greater your capacity for your brain to work actually is possible. There's just something so profound about that word, which if we really take it across all the different fields, we can see it is about that ability, having agility to be able to do things. And if we have agility, we don't age. Guess what?
That's true.
We have the ability to age gracefully. And given that I've got this lovely gray hair, and there's another one sitting here, right? It's probably something we need to just keep in our minds too.
I like that, the agility and that flexibility through our life. I mean, with NLP, with our emotions, but as well with our moods and how we see the world around us. I mean, Caroline and Shireen and Namsa, and we all spoke about it. It's, I mean, for me, the only thing that I would like the people to remember, perhaps from my end, is take time. This is, I mean, Caroline, you mentioned the different tasks and expectations. I would say go even like caveman time. And this is a time of hibernation. They do all the harvesting, the hunting, the doing building and all of that. And a lot of people do that in the sunny times and they paint and all of that. And they still continue to do a lot of stuff at home and fixing this and fixing that. Take it easy, take a chill pill and relax. Take a vacation, like Caroline said during winter at home. Take a relaxing vacation time. Reassess everything in your life. Take the time to sit down, relax, and reassess what you want to do in the next seasons, what your goals are for the future. Instead of doing it once a year during winter time, you've got 3 months to reevaluate that. Don't just spontaneously come up with it while you're having a drink on New Year's Eve. This is my goal for this year. Yeah, that's not going to last 2 weeks, buddy. Uh, so take the time to actually process what new things you want to have in your life, how you want to see your life, the dreams that you want to fulfill. And I don't think it's be kind. That these expectations that we put on ourselves, they because sometimes they're too high, they tend to lead to a lot of disappointment. So be realistic with your goals and your achievements. Take them step by step and find that balance where you can actually accept the winter season as something fruitful, something useful for you. And it's still a happy and joyous season. No matter what season it is, the season doesn't matter, the weather doesn't matter, the situation doesn't matter. You are the only one that allows yourself to be joyful and happy at any moment.
Nice, nice. So I'd just like to leave our listeners with a couple of things. One is a quote by Bernice Johnson Reagan. Life's challenges are not supposed to paralyze you. They're supposed to help you discover who you are. So this time, as we've been saying, it's a great time to go in. It's an opportunity for growth and self-care. And one other sense that you could stimulate is the sense of sound through music. There's different frequencies of music that you can have. And one I've got noted here, which helps you let go of all negative energy, releases emotional blockages, is 432 hertz, HZ for short. So if you just look up 432 HZ on YouTube and see what comes up, and just select one and just play it, you know. There are other frequencies which help, but have a go with that one and just see what happens with your mood as you play that. So explore some of those, because I find those are really helpful. What would you like to leave our listeners with, Shireen?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to see winter as a time for resourcing ourselves. It's a time to go back to your source, your soul frequency, that unique imprint that's you, and that allow, through the whole of the year we're building, and we're kind of encasing ourselves in shells in a way. So this is a time to go back so that we can undo, we can reset, so we can set forward for the new year. So for me, that's really the way we got to think about going into winter, thinking about, okay, now's the time that I can get back into balance. Now's the time that I can let go of what I need to let go of so that I can build for the future. That really is what winter means for me. And to think about that, I think is a helpful frame to go into winter.
For me, I'll just leave you guys with this to remember that winter is a season, not a permanent state. So take time, get proactive steps, transform your life into a time of growth. Just grow every single day, whether it's winter or that season. Reflect and stay warm, and even on the coldest days, and stay strong, stay cozy, have your favorite drink, and most importantly, stay hopeful and stay connected and focus with your dreams is really, really important. And if you guys are watching us from YouTube, please do subscribe to our channel. Or if you're watching us from LinkedIn or any other social media, please do come. We have two groups of Facebook, Unique Billionaire Mindset and Gossip Talk Shows group. So do come and join the group and be part of the family. And go to the website as well if you're looking for love or coaching. www.hseia.coach, and let's talk. That's for coaching. Apply. I think that's the application form for love relationship. So yeah, see you guys on the other side tomorrow.